Hello. Today's video is going to be me channeling some light language, and I'm going to channel this light language to help us to transform any emotion or energy that we wish to make into more of a joyful feeling, that we wish to use as motivation for our day, and just basically transmute anything that isn't working for us into something that does. And I've also had a few questions recently that I was planning on addressing with light language today, because I've been working with the Akashic Records a lot with clients, and one of the things that's been missing in my sessions has been my ability to channel and use light language. And I think this is because I've been a bit shy about using it one-on-one with people who book sessions with me, and it's not something that we should feel ashamed of or bad about, because it's actually a really useful healing modality that genuinely brings me to a better place of consciousness every time I use it. Obviously, like any tool, like any healing tool or just any tool in general, there are ways to misuse it. There are ways to not treat it so sacredly. But for today, I want to open a sacred space with you where we are going to use this light language healing modality in a sacred space. So just tapping into that sacred space, however you touch on it here and now, coming into the present moment, coming into your authentic self-expression, feeling that warmth of energy of a new day, a new season, a new year, just lighting that flame at the very bottom of your chakra system and sending that flame all the way up your spine, into your wingspan, into your head, into your heart, and breathe in. Nahiyama Meheyuso Karioto Nahiyasha Nahiyoto Nahiyosha. Calling in our guides, angelic helpers, and spirit animals, light beings who wish to facilitate a healing space in this sacred circle today with us, collecting in all of that energy that is both part of the present moment here and now, all the people that are watching here and now, all the people that have already watched in the past this transmission, and all of those who are yet to watch in this space and join in with this collective energy. Activate this space. We call in that energy now, feeling into the circle that is created through all of our energy of those who connect in with this space. We're going to move some energy first. Feels like there's some energy that needs to be moved. It's the annoyance, frustration, the lack of knowing or clarity that some of us are carrying in this moment right now. Mahio to Tanaya Kalo Suayata Peokolu Yana Keru Varianna me elo sulu shula gandariot variot. There we go, it's moved. There's some energy been moved. So let's get into some questions. Hopefully whatever intention or question you have just here and now can be answered in some way, in some form, with the questions that have come through for this session. If they haven't, by the end of the video, if you haven't received your answer, then that's your invitation to open your Akashic records and ask your guides to channel through any information however it comes to you. So even though you might not know or use light language through speech, song, writing, there are other modalities that it will come through for you. And so asking your heart what ways you learn, what ways you retain information is most helpful to you if you wish to do this by yourself. In this space, though, we can connect the energies very strongly and can receive any form of healing or information or sense of empowerment that we need. We just have to intend for that. So set your intention now. Yayana yashela mahioso nahiala. Feeling as though the hands wish to move actually for this transmission. There's a lot of energy that wants to come through, and it has a lot to do with channeling. Those of us who are feeling that a big part of our healing is going to take place in the throat chakra, in the self-expression, then this is going to be a space where you can open to now whatever light codes wish to come through your voice box, your sound. And whether it's a whisper, whether it's in your head, I invite you to open that space, because this could be the beginning of a great journey with light language that's wanting to open to you. If you're anything like me and have been embarrassed to use it in front of people, now's the time to break down that barrier, because I know without a shadow of a doubt how incredibly, and it makes me bring through emotion, because I know how incredibly powerful light language is, especially in working with the Akash recently. It's been opening new doors to me, because I open my Akashic records and I go in to this light language space, and in that space is where these light beings, these angelic helpers, these spirit guides, masters, teachers can send me direct information about what I'm asking about, what I'm wanting to clear. And the way that this happens, just to explain it to you now if you're new to this, is that I will receive a download of information when I ask for it, and it comes through as sound, as light language words, that is non-linear cosmic language, I like to call it, because it to me represents all of the sounds of the universe coming through as a mode of sound healing. And I also receive through these codes a type of clarity of mind. I see images. Sometimes I'll just get a feeling throughout my whole body. It'll just light up, it'll tingle when I'm bringing through these sound codes. And I don't use my mind really at all, apart from when I'm setting my intention. What I mean to say is my monkey brain, or my analytical brain. Not that those two are linked, because they're not. Being analytical and linear and pragmatic is important for certain times. But I'd say when you're open into light language, if it doesn't feel right for you, then that's one thing. But if you're analysing it and judging it, that's another thing entirely. It's not necessarily what's required for that space. So, going to bring through this violet flame now. Just imagining this violet flame that is surrounding every single muscle, cell, part of our skin, of our being. And we're just going to allow that to work through us, moving through this energy, this flame, this plasma. And at the same time, asking our guides to come through and share with us what information we need to know right now pertaining to these questions that I have, that I've received from you in working with you one-on-one, in reading your comments on my videos. I do very much enjoy having a platform where we can connect, so please continue to connect with me in any way that you like, because it's very much appreciated, and I have a lot of gratitude for all of the energy and information that we share together. So the first question is, how do I connect with nature more? So they're saying that you have to have a reason why you want to connect with nature more first. So this was a question that came in, and there are many ways to connect with nature. But first you want to know exactly why you wish to connect with nature. Is it to heal? Is it to feel better about yourself and your primal energies of who you really are? Because there's so much here that they can go into with us about this. So getting really clear on our intentions as to why we want to do any specific thing, why we want to know any specific thing, it would mean getting clear on why we're doing it, what it is we want to receive, how we wish to receive. And so this is huge kind of area that is going to apply to all of these questions, really. So I do invite you to go into this space and ask it for yourself, but I'm going to go in and do a general channeling because I know they have so much information that they wish to give surrounding this topic. How do we connect more with nature? Ramioto shuruko tayaka teros warrior ness. So I'm seeing the elements. First of all, I'm seeing fire, and fire wishes to connect with us in a way that we personify it. Do you remember in Harry Potter where Sirius comes and speaks to Harry through the fire, and his face is visible through the fire? Well, fire is very much, it has like an on or off switch. And so when you connect with fire, when you treat it as though it's a conscious living element, which it is, it very much switches itself onto you. It will start listening to you. And one of the ways that we can use fire is to transform all that does not serve us and ask it to be released into the ether back to where it comes from. So the process of fire involves earth. Obviously it involves using wood. And so we imbue the wood that we know is about to get burnt with this sense of gratitude that it's going to soak in all of what does not serve us anymore. One of the ways that I did this recently was I sat in front of the fire with my mood, with my annoyance, with all of that, and I sat there and I spoke light language to the wood and to the fire. And by the time I'd spent maybe 10 minutes just doing this process, speaking to the fire like thank you in my own language, in light language actually. You can use English, of course, you can use whatever language you speak, you can use your feeling body, you can tap into this telepathic center just by thinking and speaking to fire in this way. And by the time that the embers had all lifted into the sky, into the air, I felt my weight, the weight that was on my shoulders lifting off of me. And I saw just how powerful it is when I treat this fire with this respect of its power and how it can bring us back to our own primal fire, our own primordial force, life force energy that lives inside of us. When we come to the elements, we are reminded of the very base and primal matter of that which we are. And so when we're dealing with the social world, with relationships, with things that very much get us into our head, into our monkey mind, into the obsessant thinking and just in the head mostly, we're not part of this primal substance as much. We're part of the expansiveness of mind, which is great if you're in the right corners of your mind, but if you're in the wrong corners of your mind, it can create all kinds of disillusion and issues. And so when we come back to the elements, we come into our bodies, because the elements, the 5 elements, make up our body as well. We have this primal fire in our gut. It digests our food. It takes in what's good and leaves what's not, for the air, for the earth to be transmuting it as well. So they all work in conjunction together, these elementals. With water, it asks that you personify it by speaking to it with gratitude, again, blessing it, using it as a sacred intention. Every time you drink your water, your sacred intention is to let this water heal you. Imbue it with prayer, imbue it with love. How do we then work with earth and air? Poloso Kamaya Teonna Presso Kamiatos. Anytime we breathe, anytime we move our bodies, we are connecting with earth, we're connecting with the breath, we're connecting with the chakras. And I think this is coming up specifically for those who are in the northern hemisphere, especially if you're in a colder country. There's only so much connecting with nature you can do when you're quick to get cold outside, and so that's why moving your body would be very helpful to connect with nature. If you're in a warmer country, then you can connect with nature with your bare feet on the ground, connect with the sun on your skin, and really feel into all of those elements that wish to come through in that way, those light codes that wish to come through and heal you, expand you into more light, into a space of joy and peace. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. But before I do, I'll say that if you wish to connect with ether, then you can set that sacred space in your mind and open your Akashic records. If you want to know more about your Akashic records, then I invite you to book a session with me on my website, and we can go into the Akashic records one-on-one through Zoom. One of the things that has been coming up a lot with people coming to me and asking me for advice, and something that's come up for me a lot in my life, is how to find my true path and follow it, how to follow your true path, your soul purpose. And I'm going to go in with light language to see if there is something that our guides wish to share with us. So the word uniqueness is coming up. Connecting with your uniqueness, no longer allowing yourself to judge you for your uniqueness, but actually feeling safe to express your uniqueness. So this happens in a number of ways, in some stages actually that we can go through now. So the first stage would be to know that you're safe to express your unique self, who you really are. There's going to be all kinds of situations that might present themselves to you and make you think that you're not safe to be yourself. But this is a test. This is more like a time for you to go into your faith in yourself even more. Because what's really needed for you in those times, in all times, is to be yourself, who you really are. And so feeling safe to be yourself, you have to maybe kind of get into that zone in your mind, in a mantra, in your feeling body, and just until you feel it, I am safe to be my unique self. I am safe to express who I really am. I am safe, I am cared for, I am loved when I express my authentic self. So that would be stage 1. Step 2 would be a type of focus. Nahia luz. Kamiana. It would be to focus on all the things that make you a magnificent, beautiful, talented, skilled person. What are those things? Like, have you ever thought about what makes you who you really are? And focus in on those things, like even just a virtue, creative. What makes me magnificent is my creativity. Okay, what does your creativity look like? How does it express? How does it like to express itself in the world? Is it through color? Is it through shape? Is it through making things with your hands? Is it through movement? Is it through sound? Is it through, and then, kind of focus in even more on that, put the magnifying glass even further into that, because the more you explore that space, the more you'll find, even just in one word like creativity. Find what makes you your magnificent, talented self. Focus in on that. Get clear about that. Okay, so once you have your belief in yourself, that you're safe, that the environment is safe, once you've focused in on some things that you're really good at, some things that you maybe want to take a bit further as part of your life mission, once you just have a basic idea of those things, you've already got your faith, you've already got your trust in yourself. The third step is a bit more to do with trusting but letting go. So many of us want specific labels. A lot of people that come to me, they're looking for something specific, but they don't be as specific with their questions. And so it can only mean one thing, which is that you're still not at a space where you need to know everything about your soul purpose. You're not ready for it yet. It's going to unfold in increments, in layers, and it's meant to do so. But sometimes not having all of the information is a blessing in disguise, because you're meant to explore these first 2 steps fully first. And then when it comes to this third step of trusting and letting go, you have to, once you've lifted the veil, let's say, and said, hey, angels, I'm really good at this, this, and this, and so I think it would be really great if my soul purpose is attuned to these virtues that I've just picked up on with myself. I'm feeling really good about these things right now. They take on that information, and then you kind of have to close the veil again, because if you're constantly opening the veil and saying, hey, is it ready yet? Hey, have you manifested this dream of mine yet? Like, we have to be the ones to manifest it through our letting go of it sometimes, you know. Your soul purpose is already part of who you are. You don't necessarily need to delve into it so deeply that you're thinking about it every single second and finding the answers to all of your questions through your soul purpose. You're going to find it in many different avenues. And so allowing your guides, your angels, those that are behind the veil, your higher self, to work their magic through time. They don't just bring things to you like that when you're working with the Akashic space. They actually make sure everything's in divine timing for you before they do that. And so just letting that really cool and settle, you know, just letting it go. Guys, you already know what you're here to do on a deep level. Reminding yourself of that, because there are many answers you can seek and find in the Akashic records in this meditative space that I'm talking about, but there's also something to be said about living the experience and finding the answers through everyday things like noticing signs and synchronicities, having a moment of multidimensionality come about your being, and just really having a visceral experience of your multidimensional self. You know, there's all different kinds of ways that you're going to experience it, and they're already there behind the veil, making sure that that's all going to come to you in the right time. They want to work with you. Your guides are already working with you. There's no convincing that you need to do with them. You know, they're right there with you. They want to help. They don't need any extra things from you for them to do the help and help you, outside of you not putting contra energy in the way and thinking, oh, this still hasn't manifested. This, I still don't have the answers. This can't be right. I'm not doing things right. You know, that kind of thing. Too much of that will make them think that you want to go down a different path, and you already got clear, you already got focused on some of the virtues that you want to use, so keep using them. And I'd say make a daily practice of it, because your virtues will change from day to day. So keep checking in with your guides, with your people behind the veil. Okay, well, there are more questions, and I'm sorry that I only got to 2 questions today. I actually want to channel through one question now that I haven't written down, because there was a lot in those 2 questions, and I'm hoping that this next one that I bring, that I'm going to try and channel, connect in with your energy, with all of your energy, with my energy. Can give us a nice kind of rounding off of this video. What do we need to do now? Tala kerusu meyoto kariasta. Kulamana yayoto anamaya se lo ayana maya kale ayana te kuana maya nana e ayale yo alamai lukunoma e yataru. So what I'm getting is a type of blissful, tingly feeling. They're saying that what we need to focus on now is just having a moment of bliss, having a moment of connecting with our truth, through our heart, however we wish to do that. What's the first thing that comes to mind? And it may just be something as simple as just being present with all that is in this moment. Nahiyaru o anamaya nama elu anamanamaya keru tedeshari kuruti vaya sharana neguri andori seru kuruti anamaya karu sure atushalangana bigatush kanama keru tushala Wole anamale eri anda rushari anguru samanendu akari sharkende be akalasheru yamanayako. I'm seeing that even when we're doing quote unquote nothing, because our minds are moving at such fast paces in this day and age, we are doing so much in the Akashic field as well. Even if we're not doing much in the physical field with our bodies and in the real world, many of us are teaching and we don't even know it. We are, the things that we express or that we communicate through our own minds is being recorded by the Akashic fields at all times, and some of these things that we think, that we talk about, that we muse upon when we get, a rush of joy come through us, or we break through a barrier that we've been dealing with, we are planting seeds for the next generations to come to be able to figure out these answers quicker. We're working with the morphogenetic fields with this quantum time and space of the Akash, because we are acting as these, we're almost like actors in a movie, and we are living a real life movie, all of us. And the spirits that are coming here next, the children that are meant to come here next, they're learning from us right here and now. They're learning, they're being taught by us. So we're always being kind of, we're helping in ways that it's really kind of unfathomable to describe, but knowing that your every thought, every energy that you feel is going into a type of usefulness for all consciousness, just being aware of that, Shiriana Meheru Seyanga Eru Tanda Eru Shakara Koresamankanda Rushiteru Etanamahir Sharakana Veriotamana Eru Akanama Yeshura Kanama Erana Yaya Suruana Eru Kua. Calling in the best healing modalities that you found in your life when you really need them. Use your tools. Use your tools. When you're struggling, please use them. Light language has been a major helper of mine because it takes me to a different mind space. I go into my theta brainwaves when I use light language. It helps to bring me into that space, at least. I don't always go into light language with a euphoric feeling or anything, but I certainly end up with more things than when I started, when I used this language. So use whatever tools work for you, okay? That's all I'll say for now. Mahia seruto, mahia one last thing is that I have opened up my space for sharing more light language with you one-on-one, because I'm not afraid of it. I'm actually so ready to share it in all the ways that it wishes to come through. It's such a beautiful gift that I've been able to tap into it, and I really do wish to facilitate those of you who want to tap into it even more as well, to have a sacred space to do that. So please get in contact with me if you would like to have someone to guide you through that space where you can feel like you're not doing this alone, you're having help, and you're with someone that's been through all of the trials of what it means to find your truth, with things like light language, with opening your Akashic records. I am in service to these higher ways of healing because they light up my being, they light up my soul, and I feel like I wish to bring them more to you and not hide them and not use them just for me, because I know how helpful they are to those of you who have so many questions and are seeking, you're really seeking the answers, and you have them. You really do. Sometimes you just need a little bit of your helpful healing tools, and to use them more often before you can really gauge what it is your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. You have a whole range of soul family with you. You've done this many times before. You came here for a specific reason, and they are on hand to help you and guide you at all times. They truly want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. They're always on hand to guide you. So find your ways of tapping in, please, and if you need help, I'm here. Tariosu ma'yaka deriando shula yakana meshile akashula verisha mehiro payaka.